Hello everyone, I am Pamela Higgs and I am one half of Queenship Women and I am walking in my best quality of life. I am coming to each and every one of you today to talk about a topic that is not very easy for me to discuss. It is very sensitive and it is very sad. And so the topic I want to talk to you all about is grief and loss, particularly when it comes to grief and loss in children. And so I say this to say I recently attended an event in which I learned about a child who had passed away. And this was a pretty young child. And so I ended up being a part of this particular event to be, number one, in part, a counselor, but also as a parent. And so I'm taking the stance mostly from 2 parts, mostly from being a parent, but also because I am a licensed professional counselor, I want to also give some tidbits on, how to get through grief and loss with a child, as a caregiver. And so I say all that to say, I'm sure, we hear about grief and loss a lot now, death of all kinds in the news. I'm living in Virginia, and right now we are awaiting, the hurricane or the aftermath or the effects of Hurricane Florence. And so naturally, everybody is getting ready for the disaster. People are in the stores purchasing water, non-perishable items, and so just getting prepared. But we all know that with any type of catastrophe, such as what a hurricane brings, it also 9 times out of 10, someone is going to lose their life. And that is very sad to think of that. That's why everyone is having to evacuate and get ready, because no one wants that type of thing to happen to them or any loved ones. No one wants to deal with grief and loss. And so as much as grief and loss is a natural part of life, death is just as part of life as living is. It is very scary to think about. So imagine our youth, any one of our children dying, regardless of how it happens. It's tragic all the same. And so all death is meaningful to someone. It touches somebody. So a loved one, a relative, a family member, a friend. It could be a colleague. It could be a church member. Or it could be an outstanding, member of society, a celebrity even, And so because of that, everyone has, different emotions when death comes. People go through the grieving process. People may feel anger. They may be very angry when death happens. They don't understand. They're confused. So why did this happen? Why did this happen to this person? This is so tragic. This is unbelievable. Okay. Some people feel very, very sad. They're hurting. The loss is unbearable. They want to cry. They want to reach out and just, hide themselves in their sorrow. Sometimes it's just that difficult. Some people don't even want to get out of the bed. They go into a deep depression when someone that they know dies. And so, there are other, grief stages too, but I think the ones that we most commonly see are those that are related to, being angry, being sad, being hurt, being confused, not understanding why the death happened, how it happened, or, why it happened now, And so a lot of that comes to place when we think about children in particular. Everybody thinks that people are supposed to live their lives until they're old and gray, living to be 100. Everybody wants to, for the most part, wants to live a very long and healthy life. Want to be here for our children, want to be here to see them grow up. We want to be here to see our grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and so on and so forth. We want to be here for a while. It's a lot of living to do. But of course, most people believe that way. The sad reality is that doesn't always happen. Some people actually end up dying very young. And so that is the event that I left thinking, oh my goodness, feeling for the parents, feeling for the relatives, having a lot of unanswered questions, just wondering what in the world happened. And so that leaves, if I'm thinking that way and I'm feeling that way, and a lot of the adults around me are feeling like that, what does a child go through when they're having to deal with the death of someone? I, as a counselor, have had to work with clients in the past and had to break the news to them about relatives dying. I had to break the news as a child to another child relative of mine that one of their close relatives had passed away. Guys, let me tell you, it was very difficult. It was one of the most difficult things I've ever had to do. Not knowing the words to say, not knowing if I'm going to say the right thing, not wanting to offend anyone, wanting to make sure that I'm coming off as genuine as I need to come off, just not knowing, because everybody grieves differently. This is a major point for everyone out there to realize. Everyone grieves differently. What grief and loss look like in me and how I show it and how I cope with it may be totally different than someone else's coping mechanism or how someone else handles it. So let's just be clear with that. And that's okay, because we're all different. Okay, we're all different, so it's okay. You're not going to always know what to say to the individual. You're not going to always have the right words. You're not, because it's as logical as it is, being a part of life is very illogical for a lot of us. So when this happens, I think the best thing for you to remember is to be there for the person. Be supportive. If it is a child in particular, make sure that you're making sure that you are being there for them. Give them a hug. They may need a hug. They may need to be consoled. Listen, actively listen to what it is that they have to say. They may have questions, and it's okay to tell them that what they're thinking and what they're feeling is normal. So validate them as you're listening and comforting them. Validate their concerns. Let them know that it is difficult and that you can at least empathize on that level. Even if it wasn't someone that you may have known or someone that wasn't that close with you. Try your best to answer their questions and meet them on their level of development cognitively. And all that means is meet them where they at. If they are, 5 years old, talk to them on a 5-year-old's level. Okay, like you would any other thing you would tell a 5-year-old. You could easily say, well, I don't, you may know that they're spiritual, their family practices spirituality. Some people tell kids, well, they're in heaven, or, they're still, looking down on us. God wanted them to be with him. If you don't understand and you don't have that belief, say, they're sleeping for a very long time. They're sleeping for a very long time. And unfortunately, we're not going to be able to be with them for a very long time. Tell them that. Again, their brain can't handle forever sometimes. They don't understand the concept of forever. But let them know a long time. They understand what a long time means. And as they get older, they will reflect upon this age and they will remember, they will look back at this stage or this issue with renewed eyes and greater intelligence and formal reasoning skills. And they'll be able to say, oh, that's what such and such was telling me. That's what my mother was telling me. That's what my father was telling me, because that's how we learn and grow. So guys, don't think you need to know all the answers. Do understand that grief and loss is very difficult. It's a very sensitive topic for a lot of people. And, you're not going to be perfect, and accept that you're not going to be perfect. You're not going to have all the right words and all the answers, but your presence means so much, especially to a child, that this is very unfamiliar territory for them. They don't have the experience, the years of wisdom like us adults do. So keep that in mind when you're talking with them. Keep that in mind, okay? And don't expect for them to be the same way all the time. Sometimes they may act differently. They may seemingly appear okay. Okay, just kind of feel them out. Just kind of observe and feel them out. And as their mood shifts or changes, then you just shift and change with the mood, and you just be there for them through it all. So anyway, that was what I wanted to share, that was on my heart based on what I had just experienced. And I hope that this has been a blessing to someone out there to dealing with this very difficult topic. Again, I'm Pamela Higgs. You can reach me and my sister Natasha Tabin. We're Queenship Women. You can reach us at queenshipwomen@gmail.com. If you have any questions or any comments, or if you want to, have any topics for us, please, hit us up, let us know. In addition to that, we have a YouTube channel, Queenship Women. Queenship Women, please, view our videos, share our videos, subscribe to us, pass us along, because somebody out there may, be wanting to hear about the topics that we're discussing. And so we would love to hear from you. Take it easy. And if you're in the Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, area, let's weather the storm. Georgia area, let's weather the storm. Be safe. Be safe, guys. Be safe. Be prepared and be safe. Until next time, I love you and bless you.